Hello and welcome to all of the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Welcome to your mid-February to late February readings. Oh, I'm really excited to have all of you here. I do have some new equipment. I have a new camera. I also have a new microphone. I'm still experimenting, still trying to work things out. I did already record the earth and the water signs this month, and you guys are lucky because my son has actually fixed a bunch of settings. So anyway, if I do experience any issues with camera or microphone, if you see anything in this video or if the audio is not quite good enough, please send me an email or pop a comment in and let me know. Of course, as always, I have to run through my disclaimers. These are general readings. There are a lot of you guys out there, a lot of Aries, a lot of Leos, a lot of Sagittarius. And so these are general readings that I do. I am available for private readings if you'd like something a little bit more personal. But anything that you hear from me, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a certified financial advisor, which means that anything that you see or hear that may be construed as specific legal, financial, or medical advice, take it with a grain of salt. You have free will. Please make your own decisions. What else? This video, instead of doing 15th to the last day of the month, I'm actually including a very special day, February 14th. Now, I personally don't subscribe to or ascribe to or buy into the February 14th thing, but I know many of my followers do. So there's a chance that some of your readings may turn into love readings. We're just going to have to wait and see what the cards have for you this month. What else? I think we'll just get started with Aries. Oh, one final note. Just a reminder that I do leave all of the cards down. I pull all of the cards. I will be doing 6 card readings. However, sometimes it's more than 6 cards if a few extras pop out. And I do leave all of the cards face down until I'm actually ready to read them. And the reason being is that sometimes I get intuitive or psychic hits and insights before I actually turn the cards over. And so I just feel that the reading is a little bit more, I don't know, it gives a little bit more strength to the reading if I don't turn the cards over all at once. So let's move on. And we're going to start with the Aries. So the first card that I'm going to pull, Aries, is Where Are You Now? So I am doing this video mid-month, February 2023. So where are my Aries at right now energetically? All right, we do have the first card. We're going to just place it on the table. We're going to look at what your focus is going to be, Aries, for the foreseeable future, approximately the next 2 to 2.5 weeks. What are the Aries focusing on? Right. What is Aries focusing on? Okay, I've got one card here. I don't know if you can see that card flip-flopping around on the top. We're going to pull that one. Is there anything else? No. Okay, let's have a look at what your difficult influences are, what energies might be blocking you, difficult influences for February 14th through to the 28th. That one didn't quite hit the floor, luckily. Okay. All right, next thing we're going to pull is a card that just makes sense. In other words, it's kind of a clarifier for the rest of the reading. Where are we going for that? We're going over here. There we go. See how that card's tinted up? We're going to grab that card. That will be your This Makes Sense card. All right, let's move into Unexpected insights and unexpected influences. Where are we going? I think we're going back over here to the Osho Zen deck. Unexpected insights and influences. Yep, we've got a tented card there. So let's pull that. Is there anything else in the remainder of the deck? No. All right. And for the overall outcome, where is Aries going to be come around the last day of the month of February 2023? Where am I going for this one? I think I'm going back over to these fairies, mischievous little fairies. What do the fairies want to say to Aries as an outcome? Apparently they want to say a lot because there's a whole bunch of cards on the floor. Is there anything else? All right. So I believe there are 3 cards here. Excuse me. Nope, 4. Nope, more than that. We've actually got 6 cards here. That's a little bit excessive for an outcome. So let's see if we can narrow that down. There's one. Okay, is there anything else? Anything else for Aries as the outcome? Nope. Okay. Aries, where are you now? The cedar tree and wisdom. Hopefully this is coming into focus. I was having a terrible time trying to get things to focus, both with the other signs videos that I've already done, as well as my Monday morning video. So I do apologize. Thank goodness for young minds. My son fixed it. But all right. So the cedar tree and wisdom. This is where you are at right now, Aries. This is an indication that where you're at now is a place in your life where you are tapping into ancient energies that have been around here for a long time. Now, there are different cards from this particular deck. This deck is the Messages from the Spirits of Nature Oracle by Stephen D. Farmer. And there are other cards that indicate ancient wisdom coming into your life, but some of the other cards indicate more of an esoteric type wisdom. But this one, being a tree, is more of a worldly or very grounded type energy that's coming in for you right now, Aries, in the middle of the month of February. More of an energy of, really being in touch with what's going on in our world, as opposed to being in touch with, the esoteric and sometimes otherworldly things. I didn't really want to go here, but I'm being called to just really, really briefly mention that, there are all sorts of reports coming in from around the world with regards to certain objects that are in our skies right now. And there's some question as to the origin of those objects and so on. That's not the type of wisdom and knowledge that's coming into you right now. The type of wisdom and knowledge that's coming into you is the being able to interpret if the people who know about those objects are telling the truth or not. Do you see where there's a difference? It's not up to you to actually tap into the energy of those objects that are coming in. It's up to you to tap into the humans that are in the know and determine whether those earthbound creatures are being honest, are being dishonest, where that wisdom is coming from, and so on. So do you see the difference between the type of wisdom that's coming in? Your wisdom at this time is very earthbound, very grounded, and it's all about what's happening right here, right now on this planet. Let's have a look at what you are focusing on for the latter half of February 2023. You have the 8 of Autumn. This is also known as the 8 of Pentacles in the traditional tarot. Interestingly, let me see. I've already done a video for 6 other zodiac signs, and at least 5 of them have had this card. So this is a pretty important theme for I'm going to say pretty much a planetary theme at this time, at this stage of the game. And the Eight of Autumn, or Eight of Pentacles, represents that we need to do more research before we actually step out and take action, whether that be in the form of returning to higher education and school, taking seminars, just doing more research ourselves, including, tying that into the first card that you had, this cedar tree and the wisdom, including determining for ourselves and discerning for ourselves if the information that we are receiving is truthful or not. Okay. This is a preparedness card. It's a card of do your research before you take a leap. Okay, let's have a look at what your difficult influences are. Okay, difficult influence right now for the last half of February 2023, Aries, is trust. And it's a question of whether you're ready to take that leap of faith or not, with regards to an important decision that you need to make. Now, we know that right now there are huge changes and shifts happening on this planet on multiple levels, whether that be in job, whether that be in career, whether that be in love, relationships, how we interact with each other. All of these things are changing. And as we change, we do have learning that has to happen. We do have this need to tap into an inner wisdom and an inner knowing. But in so doing, we have to then have the trust to be able to take a leap of faith into the brave new world. Sorry, there I said it. Ouch. Okay. And what this is telling me, being in your difficult influences area of your reading, is that you're hesitating with making decisions right now. You're not taking that leap of faith. You've stepped back and you're going, I don't think I have all of the information that I need yet in order to be able to make a decision. So I'm going to postpone making my decision because I just don't trust it yet. Okay. So what I'm sensing is you're still going to be in this place of not quite being ready to make a decision and move forward for the last 2 weeks of February. Let's have a look at what makes sense. Right. Okay. Exactly. What makes sense is that you are at an impasse, right? If this is your difficult influences and you're not trusting yourself and not willing to make that leap of faith, then you are definitely at an impasse. Okay. This card is about reflect and redirect your energy, because you are at that Y in a row in the road. You're at that point where you could go east, you could go west, but you're not ready to actually step on the gas and turn the wheel either to the right or to the left. Okay. And that's okay. That's not a bad place to be, except for the fact that you are a fire sign and you like to be proactive and you like to take steps towards things. But these cards are all indicating for you, Aries, that right now is a time for you to do your more research, for you to go within a little bit, for you to reflect and redirect your energy in order to process this wisdom that's coming into you. And so it's a question. I'm not saying that you're not going to be taking action probably in the very near future, but what I am saying, based on the cards that are coming up, Aries, is that the last 2 weeks of February, you are unlikely to be ready to be, jump. Yeah, I'm definitely ready to take those next steps. You're still in that processing place. Unexpected insights. This makes sense. You got the inner voice. This makes perfect sense, because what you're being told right now is to go within. Listen to that inner voice. Reflect and redirect your energy. Look at going towards some additional education, training, whatever the case may be. It doesn't have to be formal education. It doesn't have to be in through the educational system or institutions of higher learning, because chances are, with this discernment and wisdom that you have coming up with the cedar tree and this place that you're currently in, whatever they're going to present to you in a traditional institution, likely you already know it or you're already questioning it. And I think that that's why you've got so many cards coming up telling you to go within, redirect your energy, to listen to your inner voice. You've got all of this coming up because you are at a place where you're like, you know, everything I know from the past is just not making sense anymore. The little things are just not lining up. Okay, let's have a look at what the outcome card is for you. Outcome, you've got this King of Spring, which is the King of Wands. Financial windfall, leadership skills are now needed, and a new supporter to your cause is coming in. Now, this card is pulled for the end of February. So the outcome of all of these other cards is that you are moving to a place where, you know, the financial aspect is going to start rolling in for you, that someone else is going to come in to be able to help you. It should be noted as well that the King of Wands is innovative. You know, that's one of the key words that comes up with this particular king in the deck. And also, as I mentioned, all of the other cards that I pulled don't necessarily mean action. However, the wands deck, the wand suit in the tarot deck is the suit of fire. It's the suit of action, which means, Aries, that by the end of February, it's looking like you're going to be in that place to be innovative with all of this other information that's coming up for you as you go within. And as you do that, there is going to be a place or a time for you to begin to take action and move forward. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to move on to Leo, I think it is. So thank you for being here. If you did like this video and it resonated with you, please give me a like, leave me a comment, let me know what you think. And we will see you for the beginning of the month of March reading. Thank you. Hello, Leos, and let's get started with your mid-February reading. This reading is to cover the period between February the 14th and February 28th. As you know, when we're dealing with the ethereal realm, timing sometimes isn't always as accurate as it could be, but it should be pretty close. So let's have a look at where you are at now, Leos. Oh, we already have one card that has come out. All right. So we actually have two cards here for you, Leo. Oh, three cards. They're all hiding. All right, let's have a look at what you're focusing on for the last half of February 2023. What is your focus? Now, as I mentioned, this includes February the 14th. However, so far, none of the readings that I've done have actually turned into love readings. So let's see if maybe yours will. Not sure. All right, let's have a look at your difficult influences. What are your difficult influences for the last 2 weeks of February for the Leos? Oh, okay. I do have a card that's actually slid out. Sorry, that I know that that's really, really loud when I slam the cards down. I apologize. All right, let's have a look at, we're going to pull a card that just makes sense. And it usually confirms some of the other cards in the reading. It's kind of a clarification card for the rest of the reading. So let's see what comes up for Leo. Oh, there we go. See that card wanting to pop up? We're going to pick that one. Let's have a look at your unexpected influences, unexpected insights. Where are we going? I think we're going back over here to the fairies again. Unexpected influences, unexpected insights for Leo. We do have a card that's just sticking out here. We're gonna pull that one. Is there anything else? Yep, there's another card sticking out there. Let's see if it wants to come out. Oh, yep, there we go. Knew there was one more card in there for you, Leo. All right, and let's have a look at the general overall outcome for you, Leo, for the end of February. So what we're actually doing is the final card. Sometimes it ties everything else together, and other times it's guidance for moving forward into the next month. So let's have a pull of the outcome end of February 2023 for the Leos. That card does not want to go back in. Let's see if it's going to come out. Nope. But we do have one card, two cards, three cards. We do have a group of cards here. Okay, we've got three cards that were sticking out. Okay, let's have a look at where you are at now. Ooh, King of Spring, which is the equivalent to the King of Wands, the Strength card, and the Five of Swords. Interesting. It is interesting, Leo, that I just did the reading for Aries, and Aries' final card of their reading was actually this card, the King of Spring, aka the King of Wands. And this card is a card of action. It's a card letting us know that your leadership skills are needed now. And it's interesting that the other card that you got is the Strength card. Now, the Strength card does have Leo on it. Leo the lion is on this card. And this is a card indicating that there are challenges coming. I'll just read it. The grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness. Okay. So, Leo, this card is indicating that there are some challenges coming up for you as you begin to take some steps forward. But the King of Wands, or the King of Spring, also indicates that there's a good chance that somebody else is coming in order to help you and assist you at this time. You also received the Five of Swords, aka the Five of Winter for the fairies. And this card is a card indicating that there could be some deception and dishonesty. So reading these three cards in the order in which they came up with the King is indicating that there is a time for action right now in the middle of February for you to begin to step forward. You need to step forward and be innovative in what it is that you are doing. However, this card also indicates that there's a good chance, watch for a mentor or someone else to come in and help you at this time. But you also received the Strength card, which, yes, is a representation of you, the lion, but it also indicates that there may be some challenges. But as Leo, and then kind of having the double Leo here with this Strength card coming up, you do have the strength, the gumption, the wherewithal to push through and get through whatever the challenge is. And this final card is indicating exactly what that challenge is going to be. And that challenge is going to be that someone is not being honest with you. There is some dishonesty somewhere in your life right now. Okay. Let's have a look at what you are focusing on. Okay. You got the Healing Guardian as your focus for the last 2 weeks of February. And what this is indicating to me is two things. One of the things that this is indicating is you need to be open to healing information. In other words, there is a chance that your health could be somewhat influenced by this Five of Swords that came up for you. Okay. I mean, it's not saying that your health is going downhill or anything, but you may be a little bit more susceptible or feeling a little bit run down or something like that as a direct result of the stress that happens when somebody is not being completely honest with you. So that's the first thing that this card comes up and indicates. But this card also indicates that there is emotional healing that you need to focus on right now. So oddly, looking at these first few cards that have come out for you, this is turning into a love reading for you, Leo, indicating that you may have some decisions to make with regards to your relationship and that some unexpected help and support is coming up, that there may be a few challenges there, but you're up for this challenge, that there could be someone in your midst that is not telling you the complete truth. And that your focus right now is on healing and specifically emotional healing. Let's have a look at your difficult influence right now. Your difficult influence right now is being a wise leader and being a beacon for others. So what this card is indicating is that right now, with the King of Wands and with the Strength card, you're being asked to step up, step in, be proactive, okay? This card is indicating, because it landed in the difficult influences, this card is indicating that you're struggling with stepping into that role of being proactive and being that leader and being all that you can be. What makes sense for you right now is the oak tree and tapping into your ancestors and ancestral knowledge. Okay, let's tie some of this together. Because I said that I'm really sensing and picking up on a deep intuitive and psychic level that a lot of what's going on for you right now has to do with a personal or intimate relationship. And there's some struggles, there's a little bit of difficulty coming up. And I'm not necessarily picking up that the Five of Swords is indicating that your partner is being dishonest, but I am picking up that there's some dishonesty in the mix, and it may be that someone else is doing a whole lot of talking that they shouldn't be talking about. And so there's some hurt and some emotional healing that needs to happen. And in so doing, because there's this emotional hurt that I'm sensing coming up with the medicine guardian coming in, you're having difficulty stepping into the role of being the wise leader. And the oak tree and the ancestors are really telling me that look back at family cycles, family history, because I'm sensing that some of this emotional healing that needs to happen here isn't just your emotional healing, it's ancestral and it's coming down a family line. So oftentimes families have karma that they need to let go of. And karma that is influencing other aspects of their life. Karma has a tendency to be generational, especially when it comes to relationships. And I'm sensing that these two cards together are indicating that this difficulty or this challenge that's indicated by these first two cards is specifically a generational relationship type challenge. Let's have a look at your unexpected influences. Unexpected influences and insights. You have the number 12 card. You'll notice that it is a man hanging upside down. Yes, this card corresponds to the Hanged Man in the traditional tarot. And you have the Unity card, the number 5 card, and this card corresponds to the Hierophant. in the traditional tarot. Together, what this is telling me is that you need to see things from a different perspective. And part of seeing things from a different perspective, the Hierophant is all about institutions, the teachings that we've received in the past, whether that be religious teachings, educational teachings, teachings from our parents who of course went through potentially religious education or traditional education lines. Okay. And what happens is when we come up through those institutions, whether those institutions are religious or whether they're institutions of regular public education or religious education or institutions of higher education, all of those things, all of those institutions have their way of seeing things. And their way of seeing things is sometimes very narrow-minded. And it's their way or the highway, honestly. And the only way to release that is to be able to go within ourselves, to do this emotional healing, to look at the ancestors, look to our ancestors, look to our history, and realize why there's this my way or the highway type philosophy. And then do the right thing for the right reason. And that's what this card is about. This card is about bringing people together, but bringing people together for the right reason, not bringing people together solely because it's their way or the highway. Okay. So there is an awakening happening for you, my Leo friends. But the only way the awakening happens is for you to be able to begin to see things from a different perspective. Begin to see the relationships around you and how people interact and why they interact the way that they do. And as you do that, there's going to be huge growth. There is going to be this awakening, but you need to decide for yourself rather than looking at the institutions that told you what to think and how to think about relationships specifically. You need to have a really, really close look at those, Leo, and decide what's right for you, what's in your heart. Okay, let's have a look at the final cards. This is perfect. All right, in the final cards, you got the Master, which is perfect. You got the Sharing card, which is the equivalent to the Queen of Wands. And you got No Thingness. It's interesting. Sorry, I dropped a card on the floor. It's interesting because you managed to get the Hierophant twice, not once, but twice. You will notice that this is the number 5 in the major arcana of the tarot. This is also the number 5 in the major arcana. Both of them have the same meaning. The only way that you can escape from the institutionalized my way or the highway education that all of us have received is to go into this no thingness and be able to make decisions and make decisions for the right reason, not because someone else said you needed to make a decision a certain way. When you can go into this no thingness, when you can finally step away from traditions, when you can finally step away from, looking to it's great to look to our ancestors and see the how and why. But if the how and why, because our ancestors did it, if we're still doing it just because our ancestors did it, but it's no longer working for us, then it's time to step away from that. And that's what these 2 5s are telling you. Okay. When you manage to step away and step out of this institutionalized education that we have all received from various areas, then you will step into this place of master, and you will step into this place of being able to share. Now, here's the thing. This is in your difficult influences area of your reading. You're having difficulty stepping into this place of being the wise leader, being the master, and being able to share and teach this information to others. When you integrate these two fives, when you integrate these two hierophants, your outcome is going to be that you will step into the role of the master and teacher. You will share the knowledge, okay? This sharing card oftentimes is about sharing material things, but in the sense of being next to the master here, this sharing card is all about you sharing the wealth of knowledge that you are currently digesting. Okay, so thank you so much, Leo. I greatly appreciate you being here. We will see you again at the beginning of March for the beginning of March reading. Thank you. Okay, let's move into Sagittarius. Welcome all of the Sagittarians. Oh, and there we go. We've got video problems again. Ugh. Welcome all of the Sagittarians to this, your mid to late February reading. I'm hoping I'm not going to experience any more technical difficulties, but I've had a few. There's some glitches in the video. I apologize. It's been a little bit fun. All right, Sagittarius, let's get started. We are going to be pulling 6 cards for you today, and we're going to start with where you're at now. I am being called really strongly. That's why I keep glancing over here. I keep getting called towards this deck. There's one card for the Sagittarius. Where are they at now? Where are you at now? Let's have a look at what you are focusing on, Sagittarius, for the last half of February. What is Sagittarius focusing on? Okay, I was called towards you guys. Come on, angels. Come on, ancestors. There we go. We've got this card on top, just doing a little dance. Not wanting to sit with the other cards. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Difficult influences. Where are we going? Okay. Sagittarius, late February 2023, February 14th through the 28th. Difficult influences. There we go. See how there's a card dancing on the top? I don't know if you can actually see that or not. All right. Let's move into This Makes Sense. Where are we going for? Your This Makes Sense card. Going to the fairy deck. Anything else for Sagittarius? Nope. All right. Let's have a look at your unexpected insights and influences. Where are we going? We're going actually. You might end up with 2 cards from 2 separate decks. Yeah. Okay, so we've got one card that's come out, and I can see this deck in my mind's eye. So I think we're going to have 2 meanings here. Maybe they'll be in alignment with each other. Yeah. And there we go. Okay. And the final card that I'm going to pull for you, Sagittarius, is the general overall outcome. Now, this card relates specifically to kind of where you'll be at as you're coming out of the month of February. Let's have a think. General overall outcome. General overall outcome. for Sagittarius, late February 2023. Well, it didn't go flying off the table. I saved it. Where are you at, Sagittarius, right now? Sagittarius, you are at the sequoia tree and feeling in balance, except for one problem. The card came out this way, which is an indication that at the moment, Sagittarius, you are feeling a little unbalanced and a little ungrounded and not really connected to the earth, not connected to your everyday things, your everyday routines. You are feeling really, really wonky. So that's where you're at now. So let's see if these other cards and some insight shows you coming out of this, because I know that this can be a really, really awkward feeling. It almost feels like you're lightheaded part of the month. Like you're not really grounded and, just loose, like not being able to make firm decisions. Yeah, it's not really a great feeling having that sequoia tree turned around for us. Okay. Sagittarius, your focus is the peacekeeper. Let go of the need to be right. Now, I can't remember, but I do know that this card came up a month or two ago for one of the signs, and I'm not sure if it was you, Sagittarius, or if it was one of the other zodiac signs, but this card is indicating that we're holding on to the past and we're holding on to some tenet that we believe is the gospel truth, that we believe is absolutely right, and nobody's going to tell us any different. And in fact, when we hold on to the need to be right, like this card is indicating, when we hold on to that, even if we receive information indicating that we are indeed wrong, we sometimes will continue a false narrative, if for no other reason than to save face, because we don't want to be seen as being wrong. Whoa. Sagittarius, this inverted sequoia tree is actually causing me, while I'm doing this reading, to feel unbalanced. Like I'm feeling, yeah. So I can't imagine how all of you are feeling right now. Okay. But when you move into this place of peace, and one of the best ways that we can come back into balance is to reground ourselves, reconnect with Mother Earth, whether that be doing some earthing, walking around in our bare feet, perhaps sitting in a bath or going to a swimming pool. Water is really, really grounding. It really helps to rebalance everything about us. So I'm going to make a suggestion here, Sagittarius, that you may want to consider taking steps and doing activities over the next couple of days to really ground yourself. This will also help you to release this need to be right, to let go of this need to be right. Because what happens is, if we're feeling both ungrounded and we're arguing something that maybe you are right, but are you going to be able to convince others? Probably not, because others are probably just as convinced that they are right. So when we let go of that need to convince others that our viewpoint is correct, then it allows us to move into that place of being more peaceful, of being more grounded. Let's have a look at your difficult influences. Your difficult influences right now is the Hierophant, the 5 in the Major Arcana, the no thingness card. Do you want to know what this card means? You know what? I'm actually going to grab my little booklet. Now, I very, very seldom do this, but the Hierophant is the character in the tarot who represents traditional religion and traditional educational teaching, institutionalized teaching, wherein it's their way or the highway. There is no other way other than the way that they believe it and the way that they have taught it to you. And there is no going off that. It is absolutely astounding to me that you got this card about let go of the need to be right. And then you ended up with the Hierophant in your difficult influences. It actually makes sense. Because if you're holding on to this need to be right, then you actually are playing the role of the Hierophant, which can put you in a really difficult position. Anyway, I'm just going to grab my little booklet here because the Hierophant symbolizes any organized institution, be it religious, philosophical, educational, spiritual, or temporal, that exerts authority over its followers or participants. A kind of mind control. Such groups often insist that their way is the only way, that theirs is the ultimate truth. At this stage of your spiritual development, you are challenged to remain a follower or to break free. Okay. I had to read that to you because that's what these two cards are indicating together. That's where you're at right now, where you are bumping up against these institutionalized and traditional teachings. And all of a sudden you're going, wait a minute, what is the truth? Because I've been taught my whole life that this one thing is the way, is the truth. And this is the only way. And all of a sudden, somebody over here has said, uh-oh, there's a different way of doing things. And you're stuck in that. Nope, there isn't. Okay. But then there's a little voice in your head, Sagittarius, saying, oh, maybe there is another way of doing it. Okay. Let's have a look at this makes sense. What did you get? The Tower. The 16 in the traditional tarot of the major arcana in this particular deck is called life experience, but this corresponds to the Tower. And having a Tower moment means that everything that you thought you knew, mind blown, you are making some huge changes. And if you're not actively and consciously making those changes and being aware of those changes, this card is indicating that the universe is going to do it for you. You need to let go of the need to be right. You need to be open to other views and other ways of seeing things. This is your difficult influence. You're still holding on to that institutionalized teachings, those institutionalized teachings that you have received. And this card is saying, if you continue to do so, you're going to have your mind blown. And there will be a Tower moment. And all of a sudden, the Tower is going to start crumbling down around you. And you're going to be sitting there going, oh, there is a different way. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that there's a right way and that there's a wrong way. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that the religious or educational institutions were right or wrong. That's up to you to decide. You're the only one that can decide. That's part of this. And that's part of going into this no thingness. Okay. The no thingness card represents going into that nothing and leaving behind all of the teachings that we've received. We leave behind all of those teachings and we move forward in our own belief system. And that is a Tower moment for many, many people. Okay. Let's have a look at your unexpected influences and insights. So I was called to pull two cards from two different decks. And these make perfect sense with what I was saying, with where you're at, Sagittarius, in that you're at that point where you need to let go. You need to go within yourself. You need to determine what's right and what's wrong based on this Tower card. Okay. You need to trust in the unknown. This is your unexpected insight. You need to trust in the unknown. This card indicates that you are still living in the teachings of the past. This card indicates you are still holding on for dear life to the teachings of the past. And this card, in your unexpected insights, is saying, let go. Okay. The best way to let go, water, represented by the dolphin. And didn't I mention earlier, taking a bath, taking a shower, going for a swim is a great way to reground yourself when there's all this conflict coming up, Sagittarius. And then you end up with the dolphin, which is all about water, and it's all about listening. Now, this listening is not just about listening to the lip service from the Hierophant. Don't listen to the lip service anymore. Don't listen to the institutionalized rhetoric. Listen with your heart. Listen with your soul. Listen with your intuition. And listen to something more than just the words. Do your own research. Go within. And your general overall outcome card is the Hanged Man. There is one message and one specific message only to the Hanged Man. See things from a different perspective. See things from a different perspective. Sagittarius, your entire reading is all about seeing things from a different perspective. I can honestly say that normally the cards don't come together quite this eloquently to repeat and drive home a message over and over and over again. With each card we turn over, we get yet another confirmation over and over. So Sagittarius, I'm going to leave it there. That was really, really powerful, which means that you're dealing with some really, really powerful energies right now. And, the Tower is saying that there are some big changes coming for you, not necessarily bad changes, not at all. I mean, a lot of people see the Tower and go, this doesn't represent bad changes. In fact, most people after a Tower moment kind of, wave away the dust, sweep away the dust and go, wow, this is so much better. It's one of those situations of when one door closes, a better door opens. This is what we're talking about. Now, the initial slamming door can sometimes be a little bit of a slap in the face, but then all of a sudden, when you start seeing things from a different perspective, you start listening and you start trusting in the unknown. Magic. That's when the magic happens, Sagittarius. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to leave off, and I greatly appreciate your support. Thank you.